Good morning, good morning. It is the morning of the show. We are off to a little local showing show today. Very low key. And it's our first outing back. So I had a baby 3 months ago, if you didn't know that. And this is just a little local show that I feel like I have to go to support. So that's where we're off to today. We're just doing the Cob and the Veteran class. Undecided whether to do ridden or in hand yet. I'm going to decide when I get there. But I've just turned the boys out because I'm a big believer that they should have their normal routine, even if that means I've got to get them clean after. So that's what we are doing. They are out at the moment. I've got to go home. My husband's going rowing for a couple of hours, and then I'm coming back, hot clothing Bailey, washing his legs, making sure his tail is clean, and then we're going to load up and go. But I've also got my baby girl in tow today, so it's going to be full on. But yes, I've just cleaned my tack, packed the truck up, so we are good to go home for a couple of hours and have some breakfast. I quite like a leisurely start like this. It means I'm not panicking too much. But yeah, catch you all later. After a big internal battle of I don't want to go, I don't think I'm going to go, I don't think I'm going to make it, at 9 o'clock James was still rowing and I didn't think it was going to happen. However, I've kicked myself up the bum, the truck is packed, I'm hitched up, the baby's on board, off we go. Let's go and get Bailey in and sorted, and then I'm hoping we'll just make it to the ring in time, and if we don't, just making it to the show and riding around is an achievement, and that's fine by me today because about 10 minutes ago I wasn't going. So let's do this. Right, we have the Bailey man in. He's not looking too bad. I've just washed his legs off as best as I can. So I'm just going to give him a quick hot cloth with this, and he should then dry off on the way. And then the judge will just have to take us as we are. I know, no, you're not going in your bed. Stop. You're such a pest. He says, get on with it, woman. I'm fed up already. You know what? For 20 minutes work, he looks okay. Good boy. Loaded, ready, let's go. Okay, so I thought I'd do a quick voiceover because I didn't actually record any talking whilst I was at the show because it was all a big rush. So we got there quite late and they were calling us into the class. So here we are walking around the veteran class, having not even had a warm-up. We had to tack up and just go straight in the ring, which wasn't ideal given the fact that I've not ridden him on grass since July last year. So my nerves were high at this point. I was just basically hoping he wasn't going to deck me from being excited on grass. My riding is pretty shoddy in this class. You can see he's nodding a bit like a dog. We still haven't quite got the contact sorted. I'm a bit handsy because I'm nervous. And so, yeah, it just wasn't our best. He's jig-jogging there because I've said, come on, walk on, because he likes to nap to the other horses quite well, so you have to be quite on it with him. So yeah, we're just having this is our initial walk around with the other horses. I think there was 4 in this class. Yeah. And then on to the trot. So the trot round, Bailey's trot is actually my favourite of his paces. I think he goes really nicely. His canter transitions are his nicest transitions, but I think he shows himself off the nicest in his trot. So here we are trotting around as a team. I'm trying to hold him together because he's very excited. Whether he thinks he's going hunting or what he's doing, I don't know, but he was very, very keen. So I'm just trying to make him look as pretty as I can without being too handsy. But again, I was panicking so much. This horse that went past was so lovely as well. I was just a bit all nervous. I hadn't settled into riding him properly because we hadn't had a warm-up, and I was a bit all over the place. So yeah, he's quite fussy in his mouth. That's something we need to work on, but that will come as well. My core is still quite wobbly, so it's very hard for me to sit still, and my hands are a bit all over the place, but it will get there. And here we're just preparing to canter. And now his canter transitions don't look as bad as they felt here. He threw himself into canter every single time, and I was just desperately trying to keep him some kind of controlled, not bowling on with me. But he was just so keen. He was so keen. I'm having to canter a circle to try and balance him. No. See, some pretty shoddy riding from me, to be quite honest. But his canter transitions were really nice. I'm really trying to keep my bum in the saddle so I'm not bouncing on his back as well. We're just really unbalanced. Really unbalanced. That's nice. Now, this clip is the wrong way around. As you can see, it was horrific weather for our individual show. So I'm going to apologise for that now, because that also threw me off. It was hailstones, the biggest things I've ever seen. And poor Bailey just kind of had to crack on with it. So I just panicked with my riding a little bit. There, he's napping to the gate. And then he threw himself into the transition. I panicked. I didn't have him balanced. And I'm just riding like an absolute pleb. So, and then I don't know what possessed me. I think other people had done it in their shows, but I decided to change the rein across the diagonal, which you shouldn't really do in a show. But there we go. And here I'm hoping I balanced him, but I don't think I did. I think I messed this transition up as well. Oh, we're just a bit flappy is how I would describe us. Nice trot. Not bad, not bad. Wrong leg. Can't hold him. Throwing himself into canter. Wrong leg again. But it was because I was panicking into the decisions. Like, if I just balanced him for that corner, that was a much better transition. And then he just bowled on. He's like, wee, I'm excited. So I knew at that point I really, really had not done a very good individual show at all. So I was just glad to have survived it. And I knew I needed to get myself together and organise myself and try again in the next class, but that was fine. So with that class out of the way, we then moved on to the Cob class. So in the veteran class, we did end up getting pulled in third, so we weren't last, which was a nice feeling. We should have been last because my show was awful. But we gathered ourselves back together and we went in for the Cob class, and I think I rode him so much better in this. He is still fussy in his mouth. I'm still a bit wobbly, but it is what it is. I'm really trying my hardest here to ride properly, to push my hands into an imaginary brick wall and to hold them up a little bit rather than, pulling them into my stomach, which is my natural defensive mechanism. So here we are doing the trot round again all together. There's some really nice cobs in this class. Really, really nice, smart cobs. But look at Bailey, he looks so fancy with his flicky toes. He's a good boy. And then, he said, I'm excited, let's go. He just, honestly, he felt so strong and powerful anytime I asked him to canter that it was trying to hold a bulldozer together is how I would describe it. Maybe slightly like riding a rhino. But still, you can see he's very unbalanced on corners and turns. So that's something we're going to have to work on in our schooling. Here I am desperately trying to get him back and failing. Whee! He's so speedy. He's so speedy. Oh, it's good to watch this back, actually. Oops. Okay, so here we are lining up for our individual show, and I was actually really pleased with how I rode this bit because I had rode like an absolute lemon in the veteran class and I was determined to prove that I could show him off nicely in this one. So off we go. We're going to trot back to the judge. Still really unbalanced on the turn, still a bit fussy in the mouth, but again, that will come as the season goes on and maybe I'll look at his bit a little bit. But nice trot, nice and active. He was like, we're going to canter in this bit. And I was like, no, come on, let's do a better transition this time. So I kept him forwards round that corner and gave him a really nice transition and then thought, right, let's send him on down the long side. Off we went. Nice long side canter. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And then I was like, right, I'm going to balance him. Back to trot. Cross the diagonal. Change in front of the judge. Look where I'm going. That's it. And then nice transition again. And then I'm going to send him on for a gallop. And I was the only one in the class to send him on up round the corner. Trying to get Bailey to gallop on his own in the show ring is quite difficult. So I just wanted to try and get him to extend a little bit. And again, obviously, I'm carrying a bit extra timber, so it makes it a little bit tricky for him. So brought back to trot round, back to the judge. Still dodgy, inconsistent contact going on as well. And then aiming to get a nice halt. Now, did I get it? It didn't feel like I did. Not bad. Not bad. Good boy, Bailey. So then we head back to the lineup.
Was that okay? That was good. And he stood nice.
Absolutely love the commentary there from my mum and Emily, where mum's like, was that okay? And Emily was like, yep, that was nice.
We in a minute. Wow.
Woo! Yep, so that is Bailey being called in for first place, and also deciding he wanted to have a wee right in front of the judge. But I was gobsmacked. When the judge pointed at me for first place, I actually said, no way. I couldn't believe it. I was absolutely beside myself. But it was because she liked our show, and that was a really, really nice feeling. So I'm glad that I sent him on for that extension, and yeah, really, really proud of him. Winners of the Cob class.
Oh wow.
That was worth dragging him out the field.
Was. And us standing here in the rain. Yeah. Mabel's okay.
So, because we'd won a class, we were then invited into the championship. And I was so ready to go home after the Cob class because we'd had such a good time and everything had gone well. I didn't want to jinx it, but I do feel like if you're invited into the championship class, you should ride in it if you can. So I really wasn't expecting to get anything in this because we had lead reins and like both the lead rein ring and the ridden ring all in together, and there was some beautiful combinations. So I was just using this as a training round to try and get myself riding better, try and present him better, and you can see our contact has improved and he's going really nicely. So I was really pleased with this, and he does a really lovely canter transition in a minute, like just on the straight, picks up the correct leg, and I was like, oosh, yes, nice. But as you can see, there were some gorgeous combinations in this class, so I was just really pleased to be there. Oosh, yes, Bailey, nice, good boy. And up round the corner, oh, he's a good lad. Yeah, so we're just about to line up for the final pull-in, and the cutest little lead rein pony went champion, so I can't complain at that. I was just buzzed to even be in a championship class. Woohoo! Sorry for the absolute lack of chatting today. We got here really late, and then the veteran class was straight in, so we had no warm-up. But we do have some things to update you on, don't we, bud? So we went straight in the veteran class with no warm-up. He a couple of times was like, might deck you, and I was like, please don't deck me, and he was like, I might though. And I messed up our individual show, as you'll see. However, we did come third in that class, and then we went in the Cob class and he went so much nicer and I actually rode properly, and we got a first place filly and a trophy. Buzzing. So yeah, really chuffed. We're gonna get him home now, get Mabel home. Mabel is typically, oh, here's Mum, say hi to Mum. Mum doesn't like to be on the video, so we won't put her in too much. But Mabel is fast asleep, so we're gonna have to try and transfer her into the truck and then tow home. But I have the bestest cob in the whole world. He's a legend, an absolute legend. Well, thank you for watching. Sorry it wasn't particularly a chatty one, but I'll see you next time. I'll see you next Saturday for Team Quest. Cheers and gone. Bye! Okay, so just while I'm doing the evening mucking out, there's a little bonus part of the vlog for you. Yeah, I didn't muck out this morning. 2 stories to tell you about the show today. So the first one was, when I was getting ready to go, I had both of my gloves on the tailboard of the truck. Tailboard? That is right. On the tailboard of the truck. And I bent down to put my hat on, put my hat on my head, and then suddenly there was only one glove. The second one was nowhere to be seen. So cue me and Mum panicking, trying to find my second glove. And then thankfully one of my friends, Sarah, very kindly lent me her gloves because she was finished showing for the day. So I was like, fantastic. But I mean, there was definitely 2 gloves on this tailboard, so I don't know where the other one's gone. Did the whole show, finished the day, took my hat off. Guess where the second glove was? In my freaking hat. I'd ridden all day at show with a glove in my hat. What a pleb. And then second story, got home with my trophy, went excitedly to show my son, to be like, check out my trophy, look how cool this is. He was like, he's 3, bear in mind. It's a bit small. I was like, all right, bud, thank you for the support. It is a bit small, but it's a trophy and Mummy doesn't win them very often. So, yeah, what a day. Thanks for joining me.